But I'm telling you, God is saying, continue to grow, continue to move forward. And he says, while doing good, don't grow weary. For in due season you shall reap if you do not give up, if you do not lose heart. He says, therefore with joy you will draw water from the wells of salvation. He says, you will. You will. He doesn't say maybe in due time. He says in due time this will happen. That you must continue to press on. The well in your life that you're digging for your salvation, continue digging. So we've been talking about the last couple Wednesday nights to continue working out that salvation in your life. Continue doing something great. Continue saying, okay, this is in me. What next do I need to do, God? What next do I need to change, God? What do I need to put on for you? And what do I need to take off for you, God? That he's looking for us to be obedient. When was Isaac blessed? When he did what God called him to do. When he stopped when God said stop, and when he went when God said go. And let me tell you, sometimes it says it doesn't look like it's the right time to go. But when God says go, you must go. He was saying, but I just dug those wells, God. Why would I go when these are mine? Why would I go when you just blessed me? Why would I go in this very time? But God said, go. And guess what? As he went, he began to do what God called him to do. And when he got there, no longer was there someone trying to fill the wells back in. He was then finally to the point that he could allow the water to continue to flow and bless all those around him.
Amen.
Do you realize our salvation is also about blessing those around us?
Yes.
That our very salvation is about changing lives. God didn't call us to be saved and just live in it. He called us to be saved and show it. He called us to be saved and give it away. We need to give away what God has given us.
Yes.
What did he do? God blessed him in the very moment. It said God blessed him. He prospered. Why? Because of his obedience. But guess what? When God said, get up and leave the blessings that I've given you, he got up and he left them.
Yes.
But what did God do in return? He continued to bless him. He continued to do more. But I'm telling you today that God is telling you to keep pressing on. Keep pressing on. I believe there's some of you that are here today, listening, whatever it may be, watching, that you're to the verge of giving up on your salvation. You're to the verge of throwing in the towel. You're to the verge of saying, I can't handle it anymore. Well, let me tell you, on the other side of the storm is a bright, shining sun that's waiting for you. It's something great on the other side of the storm. It's Jesus saying, here I am to rescue you from the storm. But are you going to give up and say, I'm done? Or are you going to go forward and say, God, here I am.
Yes.
Here's my hand. Take all of me. Too often we're telling God to take all of us, but we're not reaching out for anything. We're telling God this is what we need. God, here's what I'm asking for. I'm praying, God. I'm on my knees praying. But that's all we're doing is we're just asking for things, but we're not stepping out and listening.
Come on.
Imagine what would have happened to Isaac if he would have stayed in the blessings. He would have no longer been blessed. He was asking God to give him a way out, to give them more water. These men stopped up our wells, God. Now what? These men took our wells, God. They say it's theirs, but I know it's mine because you gave it to me. He didn't stop there. He continued going forward. Why? Because he knew who was on his side. And he knew what he had and what he was doing wasn't by his own strength, wasn't by his own power, but it was by God and God alone. And we need to understand that in our lives, that we need to continue running forward. Y'all still out there today?